looky there. It's another Monday. It's another Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. Don't worry, you're going to get your dose of Joe Yock in just a moment.
People were worried. They're already starting to turn it off, and they're like, when they didn't see Joe on set.
Joe's on another vacation.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
You know, the tables have turned here. Like, how come I'm not like the one?
You're getting ready to take
gone?
a lengthy vacation here in the very near future.
This is very true. Hey, we got some great stuff coming your way, including an interview with Caleb Homesley.
Yeah.
You know, we talked to Darius McGee and Kyle Rode last week, so we're like, hey, we got to just
what other legend? What other Liberty basketball legend can we get on the show? Caleb Homesley.
And what other? How else can we fill this alumni team and get this going? You're seeing Coach McKay this week, so I'm putting this alumni game on you, Matt Warner.
I know you've already talked to caterers and all that. Yeah, I'll put the bug in his ear. We'll see what he says.
Yeah, County Smoke.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, County Smoke, I saw a little bit. Jamie Chadwell did, promoting them on social media. So it seems like those official visits. You know, if you're serving County Smoke at an official visit,
it's hard to turn that down.
It's really hard to turn that down. Yeah. Speaking of football, so we have that Caleb Homesley interview in just a moment. But first, let's talk about some other things going on for some former Flames.
Yeah.
Quentin Cooley,
good start.
Look at that good. It's almost like Joe's brother knows what he's doing.
Well, yes, more so than Joe. Joe will take a lot of the credit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Quentin Cooley made his debut for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of the CFL. Joe mentioned last week he was getting moved to the active roster, and it said people were really excited about how he had looked in practice. Well, he ended up leading them in rushing, 7 carries, 43 yards. That's over 6 yards a carry as Winnipeg beat the BC Lions 27-14. So a really solid start for Quentin Cooley's pro career. Their next game will be Thursday against the Edmonton Elks. So put that on the calendar. Taking on the Elks. So we'll see if he continues to kind of build off what was a really good start.
I'm trying. I should have looked this up before. I was on such a good role there with producing and looking up all that good information.
Yeah,
it would have
summertime,
yeah,
it's fine.
But they call him something so funny.
They don't call him the bowling ball,
They don't call him the bowling ball. They have another nickname. I'm going to figure that out.
Well,
for
you
next
keep
week.
looking. Okay.
Maybe for the end of the show, I'll tag that. So stick around. Also, Bella Smuda, speaking of pro basketball, which we'll cover with Caleb Homesley in just a moment, she signed her first pro deal.
That's right. Friend of the show. Great friend of the show. We all love Bella Smuda.
It's actually how she got her contract.
You think so? It was like she did. Yeah, she just sent out like clips of the Flame Central podcast.
Yeah.
To different teams. Well, she signs in Hungary with the DVTK Huntherm in Miskolci, Hungary. Pretty sure I did not nail that. Although I did try to listen to like an audio file of like, what is that?
You did more than me.
I don't think I got it. Fourth largest city in Hungary. It's a team that's been around since the end of World War II is when they started.
Wow.
So it's been around for a while.
Okay.
So good for Bella. Getting to continue her pro career. Excited to hear how that goes. And I'm sure, like we've done with other Lady Flames and Flames, like we're doing today with Caleb Homesley, maybe we can catch up with her at some point while she's there and just see how it's going.
I'm pretty sure she has a Flame Central podcast on speed dial.
She has an invite anytime.
Anytime. She's actually one of our subscribers.
Yes.
The shuttle bus. That's what they call Quentin Cooley.
Quentin Cooley?
Yeah.
The
I don't
bus?
really understand.
Isn't the bowling ball better?
The bowling ball's still better because it's just going to keep rolling and get you more and more yards.
The shuttle bus, it stops.
Yeah, it stops so much.
And it never really gets up to speed. I don't know.
Okay.
It's Canadians. We'll talk to Joe. Maybe his brother can do something about it.
Yeah, slide in, to the play-by-play guys. And then finally, Reagan Underwood is back in the mountain. She's actually playing softball. Just kidding.
No, yeah. What if?
She's completely out of eligibility.
She probably could.
So when you're out of eligibility and you want to stay on the mountain, what do? You become a coach. So she is a new assistant coach with Liberty Field Hockey. I know that Nikki Parsley-Blocker is so pumped about this. Somebody's pumped about something when they put like all caps when they're captioning or commenting on something, and she's like, oh, I'm so stoked about this hire. It's almost like she didn't know about it. Like, Coach Nikki,
why didn't no one tell me about this?
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, though, that within the last 2 weeks, you have 2 athletes that you would say are model, what you would want a Liberty athlete to be,
like
right? And Kyle Rode and in Reagan Underwood, 2 people we've gotten to know really well over the years, 2 people that are all about the mission of Liberty University, and 2 people that played at a very, very high level. It's so cool to be able to keep them in-house, and who knows what that means for their future and all that here. But but it's cool to see those type of people wanting to be a part of the program moving forward.
Right. You as like one of the head coaches of those program or higher assistant coaches, you know how much that helps with recruiting. You mentioned it like with Kyle Rode and just like, hey, not only did I play here, I excelled here, I was here 5 years, look how I grew. So same thing with Reagan Underwood. She's like, I played every sport here and just like follow my lead.
I mean, think about like, I know there are plenty of athletes that by the time they finish their careers, they are so sick of the head coach, they don't want to stay around. Or vice versa, the head coach is so sick of them, they're like, it's time. It's cool to see that within the programs here at Liberty, that's not necessarily the case. Guys are like, man, I hate to leave. We saw that with guys that transferred in, the Talon Peters and Javon Moffmers. They're like, man, I hate to have to leave this place. I loved it so much. And now you're seeing that pay dividends because I want an assistant coach. Let me go get this guy that played for me a year or two ago.
Hey, speaking of Talon Peter, it looks like he's getting some workouts
everywhere.
at like calling up like, hey, come out to X and X City and we want you to work out for us. And he's like hopping on a plane the next day.
He has been all over working out for teams. I'm interested to see. I think the draft is Wednesday, I believe, this week. Is that correct?
I didn't watch the NBA Finals. I'm not gonna lie. I'm lame and I didn't watch.
I didn't either.
You didn't?
No. I'm not.
So you're not surprised, or like you didn't see the game, like you don't.
No.
With the Thunder and the.
No, I mean I thought the Thunder would end up winning.
Yeah,
and especially when Halliburton went down with injury. But yes, the NBA draft this Wednesday is the draft.
That's so interesting.
We should find out Talon Peter what ends up shaking out with him. Hopefully, either during or shortly after the draft. So excited for him.
So pumped for him. Okay. In the meantime, we do have a little outro after this interview. We'll talk about a big announcement that you might hear on next week's Flame Central podcast. And
a couple of big announcements, actually.
Yeah, some celebration for Flame Central and a new way to watch Flame Central. We have to update you on that as well. But first, let's go to this conversation with Caleb Homesley. For the first time ever, we have a very special guest on the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. I can't believe it. Caleb Homesley has never been on the Flame Central podcast. Ratings are just going to skyrocket.
Legend of the Mountain.
This is the only thing he hasn't done in terms of his career is be on this podcast. He's done everything else.
Yeah, I mean, that means honestly you haven't done a lot.
He's arrived. Now you've officially arrived.
Now we can say the guy's finally made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb, do you have a response to all of this?
Yeah, this is probably one of my biggest achievements of my professional career right here.
Caleb, dude, don't get choked up and get all emotional right now. Okay,
right.
We don't.
There's like the 30-point NCAA tournament game and this. It's kind of like one or the other.
Well, you have been
Made it.
You've been quite the world traveler since we've talked to you and really seen you during your time here on the mountain. How are you doing? Tell us where you're at these days. I know you're at your home and you have a nice little setup of like some Liberty jerseys there behind you.
It's nice. I live in Charlotte. We actually just bought this house in November. I bought it when I was overseas. Just a place to call home. We've rented a lot throughout the past years, and we just decided, let's get us someplace where we can call home and come back and not have to move all of our stuff to a storage unit every year. And so, it's been good.
So you've made a lot of stops. Yeah. What is it? Russia, Turkey?
Was it Germany first?
Germany, yeah.
I mean, it's a long list of places that you've been. Now you're in Gran Canaria playing for Dreamland. What's been this whole? Has it been a whirlwind for you the last few years? I mean, I feel like it's been forever since you've been a Liberty Flame.
Yeah, me and Tori were actually just talking about it the other day. Like, I just finished my 5th professional season, and it goes by so fast. Like, each season feels like it might take 4 months, and then it's time for me to come home and start a new season, start with a new team. But it's been fun, you get to see different places of the world, see different cultures, kind of eat different cultures' foods and different things like that. So, I really enjoy it. My family enjoys it. I know that Tori enjoys it because especially in Gran Canaria, it's vacation out there. So
looks like it.
Well, and talk about that. Now you have 2 little kids, so wife, couple of kids. Like, how has that changed your professional career? It's not just you flying solo anymore. You have to take them into account and where they're going to live. How has that kind of changed your mindset at this point?
Yeah, when the first year I was looking for places to live, like I was looking for a 1 or 2 bedroom, like just trying to figure it out. It's okay for me and Tori just to live here, but now you got to say, oh, now I got to go here, and maybe they have a crib, maybe they don't. Okay, now we have to buy a crib. Okay, now we need a bassinet. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. And then also just looking at the city, like, what are things to do for, because my oldest is 2. He turned 2 in April. So it's like, what are the things that he can do around, I don't know, the places. So I was in between Gran Canaria and another place. And I was going back and forth with the presidents of the team, of the clubs. Like, hey, you got to tell me a little bit about what's to do with the families. Like, I don't just need a mall to walk around. I need things to do. So Gran Canaria was a good destination for us. They had a really good, really big aquarium that Jaden loved. And obviously you have the beach, and you drive 40 minutes down south of the island, and we got to be at beach clubs probably once a week. So it was good.
Yeah, I actually did some research.
Okay.
It's a shocker that I did something to produce this show.
Fun facts.
But I have some fun facts about Gran Canaria. If for those of our viewers who don't know much about it, it's just west off of the coast of Africa, off of Morocco.
Yeah.
So it's Spanish island. A good friend of the show, Christopher Columbus in 1492.
Yeah.
He actually anchored there and spent some time on the island before his first trip to the Americas.
So you're in good company.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then the diameter of the island is about 31 miles. In 2023, the population was around 900,000.
And it looks like all of them came to your games.
Yes.
Because it looked like there were some, it was was it a pretty rocking environment?
Yeah, it was great. They had a good fan support. It was good.
What is the mascot? Because I also found that the official natural symbol associated with Gran Canaria is a canary mastiff, which is like the huge, massive dogs. Are those everywhere?
No, actually, they weren't. We actually didn't even have a mascot in the arena.
I'm telling Sparky.
Really?
We're sending Sparky to Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Caleb, what's been out of your journey so far in your professional career? What has been some of your favorite in your family? Also, what's been your favorite place to be at so far?
Definitely Spain, man. It's Spain's a different level. Like, someone just asked me yesterday if I could live anywhere else, like in the world, where would you live? And I said Barcelona. I think that Spain is a lot like the United States, but it's a lot cheaper, for one.
Yeah.
The weather's great, the people are great, the food's great. And then obviously you're just a short flight to Italy, short flight to, Germany, wherever you want to go. Portugal's right there connected. So there's these different things that Spain offers that I feel like I don't get here. And I really enjoyed it, man. Like I said, I was over there for 10 months this year. I went August, came back in June, and I loved every bit of it. It wasn't like a time where I was like, oh, I'm ready to rush home, get home, like see home. I was okay out there. So yeah, I would say Spain.
I mean, I'm even moving to Barcelona.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Take Flame Central on the road. Oh, how's your Spanish been in those 10 months? Have you picked up some?
Little.
Little.
Yeah, little. I know enough. I can get through some conversations and make my way around.
Here's the thing. Like, jump shot, that's the international language, right? If you can go out there and score the basketball, like, that's all they need to know. Yeah, right.
Wait, but being on such a small island, when you're walking around the island, does everyone like try to get your autograph? And
always, we'd be sitting at dinner because, like, you guys probably don't know this, but like, there's no winter out there, so it's 70 degrees. 80 degrees.
Tough life.
Really tough life.
January and February. So like, we sit outside a lot when we go to cabs or drink coffee, whatever it may be. We'd be sitting there. Picture, Homesley, picture. I'm like, yes, come on. Let's do it. Hurry up, though. I want to eat lunch.
Here's how I knew Caleb had made it. When he started having like Twitter beefs with fans, like, and I'm seeing him go at people, I'm like, this is how you know. He's at that level now.
Yes.
He's ready for Twitter beefs.
For most people that think back on your career, they remember the NCAA tournament game, the monster performance you had against Mississippi State. For me, I remember the injury you had against Princeton your sophomore year, and everybody wondering, like, is he gonna be the same when he comes back? What's it gonna be like? How much gratitude has that given you for the career you've been able to have, knowing what you had to overcome health-wise early in your career?
Yeah, a lot. I think that's just a testament to like the help that I had, though. I don't think that it would have been the same if I was anywhere else. Each time I look back on it, like with the small injuries that I have throughout the season this year, it's like nothing compares to that. You know what I mean? So it's like I play through stuff now to where maybe before that injury, I wouldn't have played through, right? Because now I know my body and how to maintenance it, get work done on it, before and after stuff. So honestly, I think it just taught me how to be a professional early. like, and try to figure it out. But now that I'm a professional, like, everything that I go through on a daily basis of things that I do, what I eat, how I sleep, how I train, like, that all started back sophomore year.
That's awesome. So you're actually coming back to Liberty, right, to do some training this summer?
Yeah, I'll be there. It'll be sometime in July.
And we've been talking about Darius and Kyle Rhodes about putting an alumni basketball game together versus the current Liberty team. So are you in?
Who's your 5? We want to know.
Who's your 5?
Who's my 5?
Yeah, Liberty alums. You put it together. Build your dream 5.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not playing the 4 position, so we're gonna do. We're gonna do Darius, Lavelle, me. I gotta go with my crew, Mayo and Scotty.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I gotta go with my crew.
A lot of wins with that crew.
And you think you guys can take the current team with that roster?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, man.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Hey,
if I'm on the court, we got a good chance.
Yeah. I like that.
I love the confidence.
Okay, let me ask you something about that. Since you've left from college and gotten to the professional ranks, and now you see 5th year, how have you seen your game change from when you're in college, and what have you seen your biggest areas of improvement?
Yeah, I think just understanding the game. Like, I've always kind of had a high IQ for the game and could play multiple positions. I think that's kind of what helped me excel. But I think, when I became professional, I moved back to my true position, which was the 2 guard after college, which for us, we played kind of positionless basketball, so it didn't matter. But when I was in DC, I moved back to the 2. Then when I went overseas for my first year, I was starting point guard. So it was like, it kind of brought out all the aspects of my game of that first year overseas, just letting me to kind of control the team and figure it out, especially in Europe, because the Europe transition is not easy. So I knew that if I had a successful season, which I did, that it would carry over to the next couple seasons or however long I wanted to play in Europe. But I'd say just pick and roll reads and being able to understand the game, understanding the players that you're playing with. I think that's something that I didn't understand when I was in college, of knowing where players like their spots, what they want to do, where's their go-to move, different things like that. So now, especially preseason, usually I get overseas about a month early before, and we'll do workouts and different things. And I can start to read and gauge on how people are, what they like to do, right? I think that's the main thing. So like going deep in the season, like we did in the finals, like I knew exactly where he wanted to get to in the 4th quarter, down 3, whatever it may be. And they know the same for me. So I would just say understanding and being able to read the game.
Nice.
Obviously, Liberty had a great season this past year. How much were you able to follow that? And how much interaction did you have, or do you have, with guys that are on the team now?
Yeah, I talked to McKay probably, I don't know, once a week.
Okay.
So, following was a little hard just because of the time difference. We'd watch some reruns if we could. But, I would just say for most of it, it was more so I'm talking to the guys through McKay and just talking to him, telling him what I see. Good job. This is what I saw, yada, yada, and things like that.
All right, so were you following Liberty basketball more in your household, or were you following Liberty softball more in your household?
Brother.
Softball, just like Tori, awesome Liberty softball player in her day.
Softball, brother.
Yeah, you guys all in. Yeah, there you go. There's her jersey right there, yeah.
Softball. We're big softball people over here.
Yeah, I figured.
But I don't know if this question's coming in from Coach McKay. Are you bringing the pack line defense to Spain? Gran Canaria, do you guys run the pack?
You left that in Lynchburg, didn't you?
Yeah, too much work.
I don't know if you can run that in a professional, aspects of everything. But no.
I'm sure you've picked up so much from each step of your career, but what did you learn or gain from your time here at Liberty that you're still utilizing today?
Yeah, I think just like kind of how I was explaining how you start to learn other people's games, and I think that comes with like selflessness. Like I'm able to sit here and watch you during the workout and see what you like and what you don't like, and also just work ethic, because at a Division I level, and especially with me being hurt, like it took a lot for me to come back. And overseas, it can get like you might have 1 or 2 coaches that will be on the court with you to work out after practice. So like you got to get with a player and rebound and do different things and work yourself out a little bit. So I think just taking the, not for granted, but seeing what you have at Liberty and trying to take it to other places. Like, this is how I worked when I was doing this, and this is how we have to work here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. So what's next for Caleb Homesley? I mean, this season it looks like you averaged 13 points. You're obviously with the Gran Canaria Dreamland team. What's next?
Yeah, what's next is another team. It's either going to be Gran Canaria or another team. We'll see. I'll probably sign in, I don't know, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. We'll see where I go. Offers are starting to come in now, so we'll see.
Is this an anxious time, or was it more so earlier in your career where you're like, man, I just hope I find a spot? Now you're like, I'm good. I know I'll be fine.
Yeah, earlier in my career, I was hitting my agent every day. What we got? What we looking at? Like, now it's, I don't know, every 2 weeks we'll talk. Like, and it's to a point now where we've had the communication. Just don't even tell me unless it's an offer. Yeah. Like, I don't need to really know about interest.
Caleb, I've got a good story for you. I see you're wearing your Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt right now.
Yeah.
So, true story. When I was coaching football at Liberty, we were on the road somewhere, and Stone Cold Steve Austin this is when he was at the height of his fame, was wrestling staying at the same hotel that we were in. And one of our coaches grabbed him before our team meeting and said, hey, come and say something to the boys, right?
Yeah.
And Steve Austin popped his head into the Liberty football team, yelled out a couple inappropriate things, and turned around and walked out. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I thought, just saw that shirt on, I said, I got to share that story with him.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's good.
Funny.
That's amazing. Okay, Caleb, we were talking to Darius a little bit ago about some of the foods overseas, and the schnitzel was in Germany. That he was like, that's like the thing that you have to eat and try and everything. What is like your number one meal in Spain? Of course, I'm asking about food here.
Paella. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Paella.
It's like a rice-based, like seafood. You can do seafood, steak, chicken.
It's like an orange rice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mine's like it comes on like a huge pan, like for like a family of 4. And I would always get the seafood paella. Or do like mussels, because I was on the water, so I knew all my stuff was fresh.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I do like a bowl of mussels, and then I do a whole pan of paella.
We missed an opportunity to go visit him.
You should have came. This is probably the best chance.
Yeah.
There's still a chance. We need to do just like a Euro trip of like
all the guys over there.
Put it on Alcova Mortgage.
Here we go again. It always goes on Alcova Mortgage. Joe's always picking up the tab.
If you want to power this podcast, you've got to step up. And yes, we are flying first class. Caleb, thanks so much. I'm telling you, I think we can pack out Liberty Arena for this alumni game. We've got to make it happen.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
Can we? I mean, it's going to be hard to get Scotty.
I'm going to talk with Coach McKay next week. We'll see if we can get something ironed out.
I can put this together in July.
Yeah, you can do
it. Got to be in July.
Yeah, Caleb,
it's got to be in July.
Since you're one of Liberty's all-time favorites, we're going to have you. Matt's going to send you a mug in Charlotte.
That's right.
Right. Matt will send you a mug. Send him. Text Matt your address.
Central mug.
Send him a mug.
Right.
There we are.
Yeah.
And all you have to do to get that mug is say the Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. Do it.
Right now.
Right now. Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Boom. That easy. That easy.
Okay, so you're going to have to text Matt your address. We'll send you a
mug.
We'll hook you up. That's right.
So then whenever you're in those awesome cafes that you're describing,
bring
looking over the ocean, you can bring your own mug, and people will be like, what is... We're going overseas, baby. I love it. I love it. Caleb, I'm so excited for you.
Caleb.
So happy for you and your family. Continue to thrive overseas, and we'll continue to follow you along the way.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, he will be back here in the next couple weeks, so maybe we'll do a little bit with Caleb Homesley when he's back. But great to catch up with him. I love his Liberty wall behind him.
Well, not because you don't just have his accomplishments. His wife as well was so good for Liberty softball. So I'm sure they have plenty of stuff all over the walls recognized in their careers.
And they have a couple future Flames, that they're bringing up. I feel like those are going to be some serious athletes right
it's
there.
your boy, so I guess Richie for now is the one doing the recruiting. But if they ever have any girls, Dot will be knocking on the door as well, I'm sure.
That's right. Hey, we are going to have a big announcement coming on next week's podcast. We're having Marshall Roberts and Mike Hagan on. So it has to do with the Flames Club. That will be announced on Wednesday. So be in the loop for that. But then we'll go into more depth about it on next week's podcast. So again, just because it's summer,
it doesn't stop.
Back in the day, I would just be like, Matt, let's take the next few weeks off. But
Emily,
because
I'll see you in September.
Because it's a Flame Central podcast is powered by Alcova Mortgage. We're powering your way through the whole summer and through this heat. So hopefully you guys have your son's baseball tournament.
And it's like, it waited until it got to as hot as it will get this summer. Yes. So
feels like.
Looking forward to that.
Okay, so good luck to Jack in that. We also have some news about Flame Central.
Yes.
So if you can take that away.
If you have been watching our TV show, Flame Central, so it's separate from the podcast, but our weekly TV show, if you've been watching it on TV, like actual over-the-air station in Lynchburg or in Raleigh or Charlotte or one of our affiliates, know that this week is the last time it will air on any of those affiliates.
Not going anywhere, though.
So you might think, oh, is that bad news? Well, not really, because we're still going to be in all the places that you can watch. The primary places we'll push you for now, and there may be some more opportunities to watch us in different places coming soon, would be watch us on YouTube, which you may be doing right now for this podcast. So if we post every week here on YouTube, you can watch our TV show there. You can also watch it on ESPN Plus if you're a subscriber for ESPN Plus. It also posts there every Friday as well. So it's going away from our TV affiliates, but it will still be everywhere that you can find it. Nothing is changing. In fact, some things may be getting better. You may be noticing some changes as we start moving towards the football season, but it will only be improving, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, and the best part about the YouTube route, it's free, baby.
It's free, baby.
It's free.
It's free.
So, and I'm still learning this too because feel like I'm getting old and the younger generation is just helping out. But if you subscribe to the YouTube, Liberty Flames YouTube, and there's new content, you'll get an alert. So then that will be...
Yeah, do that. Subscribe to the Flames YouTube. Not just even for that, but there's so much good content. This podcast, press conferences throughout the season, stories that we post. So yeah, subscribe to the Liberty Flames YouTube channel and you won't miss anything.
Also, want to mention, Matt said, things are getting better. Well, it's already pretty good because you guys went to the Emmy. I wanted to go.
Emily big-timed us.
I didn't. I wanted to go, but when we had to make this decision, I wasn't sure how I was going to be feeling. So
we went to the Emmy Awards, the Capital Emmy Awards. It's like the regional Emmy Awards, D.C., Baltimore, Virginia. So all of those included. We brought
back some hardware.
We brought back some hardware for the show. So let me run down the list of who won real quick. 5 Emmy Awards our show brought in. John Pratt won for a story on former Liberty hockey player Josh Fricks and his awful neck injury that he is now recovered and still recovering from. It's doing great. Powerful story.
That was on this last week's Flame Central, so check it
out. In the religion category, a story on Eli August, Liberty football player who not only got a scholarship but got saved while he was here at Liberty. Really cool story from Josh Quigg. A story about Levi Keller, who was a young man, the kid who was battling cancer, who was basically adopted by the Liberty soccer program. Unfortunately, he's passed away since that story was released this past year. But Helmut Montoya produced that piece. Again, a very powerful story about both Levi, his family, and the soccer team. And then Emily Austin, of course, you knew this was coming.
No.
In the long-form religion, she couldn't keep it under 10 minutes.
Not that story.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob Saunier. Sorry to interrupt you. But I don't know if I've ever shared this story, but he mentioned the long form. I had no other choice. I remember the interview with Jacob's parents, which I love them so much.
Assistant strength and conditioning coach for football, Jacob Saunier.
And we're going through the interview. I think we're over an hour into this interview. Oof. And incredibly powerful story from Jacob and surviving cancer. But there was a point in the story they're like, and then he was moving back from Ohio and this job, and he got hit by a semi. And I was like, and they started laughing. And I just looking like Donald and John, our camera producer guys, and I was like,
This is
How
going
am
to
I
be
gonna add this
it's
to
going to be
the
a 30-minute story. Yeah.
So we left out the semi-final.
Yeah.
He was fine.
Yeah, he's good.
He's so good.
He's good.
But it was so funny. Just like there was so much to his story. I mean, his wife, was a big part of that too. But really cool story.
Yeah.
So
So
happy
congrats
for
to you
Thank
for winning
Thank
for that.
you.
And then finally, our Donald Scott won an Emmy in the video essayist category for a cool piece he did. It would have been 2 seasons ago because this was from 2024
Right.
calendar year, on Lily Hydorn, the kind of secret weapon pinch runner off the bench for Liberty softball. A cool piece on her and her role. So that one as well. So 5 Emmy Awards. We're really excited.
Did Creative win any?
They did not. They were up for 2. David Hurley, Ben Chase were both nominated, but did not. The Baltimore Ravens had a big year, which, you know what? They can't. They can't win a Super Bowl, so I guess they should win something.
Coming straight from a Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, you can be a part of the show. Remember that flamecentral@liberty.edu. You can also go to Liberty or alcova.com/Liberty if you want up to $5,000 off of your closing costs for Alcova Mortgage. If you're a Liberty employee or alum.
I have a lot of mugs to send out, so including to Caleb Homesley. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you submit questions, in fact, there's one I'm going to send out this week. I believe it's to Elton, who sent us a question a couple of weeks ago. A little behind on the mugs. I'm going to catch up this week.
Come on, Matt Warner.
But if you send us a good question, you may well end up with a Flame Central podcast mug.
flamecentral@liberty.edu. I just want to give a shout out to Bryson at Food Lion.
Tell this story.
Food Lion on across from London Downs. Okay. So Jason must have been in front of me, and I hear him talking to somebody that works there, and he's like, "Oh, hey, buddy, what's up?" And I'm just thinking that we don't go anywhere that Jason doesn't know someone. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I'm just like, what kind of
You're
cinnamon?
looking at National Enquirer.
I'm like, what kind of cinnamon rolls do I want? Do I want to get the buttered biscuits or the, and then he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're here too? Emily Austin? I wasn't sure if it was you because I'm like, I know that's Jason." And I'm like, well, I hope it's not. He's not here rolling around with his girlfriend or something.
He's usually here with someone else.
But then I saw you and you turned to the side and I'm like, yep, that's Emily. She's pregnant.
Turn to the side? Wow, okay.
Well, he was like, and then I just knew she's pregnant. That's definitely Emily. And I just lost it. This kid had so much energy. I love Bryson. Thank you so much.
Big fan of the podcast.
Huge fan of the podcast. Doesn't even go to Liberty yet. Just is coming like a Lynchburger and eventually, I think he said he's enrolling in the fall at Liberty, but he is like, I'll be listening on Apple Music, and then you guys will start doing some stupid skit. So then I'll like whenever you tell me to stop listening and you have to go watch and see this, I do it immediately. And I'm like, thank you, Bryson.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody's paying attention.
Maybe we need to swing a mug by Food Lion.
100%. Bryson, either email us in flamecentral@liberty.edu your email address or your home address, and we'll send you a mug, or I'll swing one by the London Downs Food Line. Yeah. But if I just drop it off and Bryson isn't there working, it's going to be taken.
It'll be a free for all.
So I'm just a little nervous, but it was just he was so fired up, and I'm like, can I video you and send this to Matt and Jeff? And he was just like, you guys are so great. So thank you, people.
Yes,
Whenever you say that to us, it actually makes all this worth it.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks so much for listening and watching. Matt, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
Nothing else? All right, we have a great podcast coming your way next week, so don't miss it. Every Monday. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you then.